funny enough, you can find out in this conversation we've been running, you haven't had even the sexual bit coming in because it comes in as a complimentary.
Oh, it's a complimentary.
Yeah.
let me say something. Okay, first, and I'm going to address that in a bit. When there's something George said, about having you been like when you have a God-fearing man, you have to make yourself that man that your woman wants to follow.
Yes.
And I think this I will say to the women, and the reason why I'm saying this is because not all the time that we will marry that guy.
Yes, that's true.
You'll marry a guy probably who drinks, who comes home at 2 a.m., who comes home in the morning. In fact, unapigia mpaka security, wakwenye, wherever they work, wamtafute or whatever. There are those cases where you'll marry that man.
Yeah.
And I think for me, I think what works best would be, because, you can't, you can put all your energy in changing this guy.
Exactly.
Yes.
Trying to change him into that God-fearing man, etc.
That's not who he is.
Yeah, and one thing I've learned, probably to just wrap it up, is that, I believe that only God changes.
Yes.
Can change someone, and resulting to praying for this person to be probably what you would want them to be. Always works, by the way. Always works,
Let
works
me give
best.
an example with that.
Yes.
I like what you've just said. It's just popped in my mind. When we were growing up, my dad used to be I'll drink, come home. He was a happy-go-lucky guy. We liked my dad. He'd come singing, make so much fun.
Make you guys
the house, make us guys sing, and
those choruses.
would laugh. You know those choruses.
There's even once he
You
took
guys
us
were drunk,
to a bar and my mom was so mad.
Yeah.
Thinking what?
Yeah.
You guys had fun.
Yeah. He was a fun time kind of guy, He's happy go. My dad is a guy for talking. So when he drank now, he was next level.
Times two.
Times two now, and that's how we grew up over time. But you see, my mom, one consistent thing she did is prayed for her. For him, rather. My mom prayed for my dad consistently. Do you know one day my dad woke up and stopped drinking? He didn't have a channel for, I'll go, pole pole niache. He just dropped. And you know what my dad says? He says, were it not for your mom's prayers, I would still be that same old person. Yeah.
Because the friends are still
Maybe even
there.
to add to that, and my mom never went to bed
Yes.
until my dad was in the house.
Yes.
Ever.
She would sit praying, kneeling down, praying and making
And
sure.
my dad is drunk, he slept on the bed, and then my mom would just kneel over there praying and expressing himself.
Yeah.
And pray
These are
and
some
pray and pray.
Without a doubt.
Yes.
Zimewaka.
Yeah. Those prayers really worked, and my dad testifies that, and he says it, if it were not for your mom's prayers, and I believe that is it. Sometimes you find yourself in a situation. Marriage is for life. I believe marriage, unless biblically, unless there is infidelity. Yeah, marriage is for life.
Yeah.
So, if marriage is for life, and you can put that person
You're in this situation.
in prayer,
Yeah.
and in this situation, put that person in prayer.
Yeah.
It doesn't. By the way, some people always think it happens for the men's side only, so the woman is the one who has to be the one praying. No, by the way, you can be a God-fearing man, but your wife
is also on,
another extreme.
Yeah.
Sometimes you'd expect them, as we were saying, expectations. You'd expect them to give you some certain things and do certain things in certain ways, but this one will not do. So times you have to resort to praying for them, so that they can be humble enough and God-fearing enough to see.
And the Holy Spirit
Yeah.
working.
Not
work
actually,
in them
not-
and perspective.
Let me just cut you short. Not even sometimes. I think it's always.
All the time.
Yeah.
It's all the time. Because again, just on the same example, probably forgot to mention. Okay, I'm like, we're like brothers. I've grown up with them, so I know all about them. But the mom as well never used to confront quarreling the dad.
Ever.
Never.
Not even once.
By the way,
So
we
probably
can't
that we can take that
Ever.
as an advice to us young guys who probably are watching this and all that, young in marriage and all that.
Kwa utakujanga ukikunywa huku nafikiri huku ni you can.
So I mean, my point is, even how we want to communicate. Remember,
love.
show love. Remember, this is your friend, and he's there. Ama she's there to stay. You have no option. you know, it's not a bus that you can, you know, jump off and catch another bus. Hey, ciao. You know, this you're here to stay. So I think also the way of communicating also really.
My mom says there's once she was telling my wife ati, you know women used to come and tell me, unajua tumeona mzee wako huko na some ladies huko mama nani, hey. Then my mom would tell them, si bora atakuja lala huko huko ndio mwisho nyumbani, so ni sawa. So he already cut off those kind of
exactly,
and
cut off negativity. Yes,
my folks never grew up with friends that, you know, the ones for huko. So they've always grown up as good friends.
And eventually when she prayed for him and his ways changed and he became a church person and that whole scenario changed. Guess who my dad turned to as a friend? My mom. So they would
best of friends.
Now, because he has removed the guys who drink, he has remained with this one person who's in his life.
He has to be home at 5.
Now they're always together.
Every
single day. Even guys ask us, hey, what's wrong with your folks? We'd be in town by then. My dad would be like, Mama, uko wapi? Tupatane hapo tuende pamoja. As in the morning, my dad would even leave the house at 11 waiting for my mom.
And we're not talking about this probably you guys can think, hey, what about for that guy who loves his kabia and the wife is comfortable with that and all those things. We're just talking about things that work for us and what things that we've seen across board. There are ladies who are also comfortable with the guy drinking at home and, you know, bora kunye and all you're saying is that, I mean, for us what has worked and we can testify is that God is the ultimate in our marriages. You know, we go to God every time and we've tried as much as possible to ensure that God is the center of our marriages. My marriage and
mine
his marriage and his too. And you know, there are ladies or men who would be asking what happens in a situation where we are not in a godly situation, where we don't have a growing church nini going on. That's why we're giving those examples. And what I can say is that's what George was saying. Be as prayerful as you can be in your home. Show a good example. I remember the story of being given of, like, you know, life is about experiences. This guy they would go drinking with his boys, and then at meet, these guys would complain, bibi yangu huyo ni wazimu, hey huyo. They would like a group of guys, and this guy never had anything to say, and every time they would ask him, wewe kwani bibi yako afanyangi kitu? The guy would be like, hey, mi sijui. Then one day this guy said, wacha wewe nipelekeni kwa hiyo nyumba. The guys took them to his house at 2 a.m. So he thought, you know, this guy is, you know, is out of his mind. They found his wife at 2 a.m. waiting for him, and you know, and they were open for, and then he said, tengenezea watu chai, and the wife made for them chai and all that stuff
for them. And
this guy sat back and thought, hey, kwani all these guys and me, I've never experienced what these guys are doing. And you know, from that day he stopped drinking and he stopped doing all those things. Why? Because the wife showed love to him and respect to him. But then, unlike other guys would say, me not as you can't kwangu nitaingia leo ndalala inje. And I was telling me at the time he was drunk, he slept at the stairs for a night. It's sad for such things to be happening. But if you have God at the center of your marriage, it works wonders. It comes with challenges, yes, but then God is a cushion of it all.
Just to add on to that, just to the guys who are watching, we're not saying bibi akungoje usiku at 2 a.m.
Unajua after hii channel tunaweza anza kuambiwa
hatusemi hivyo. Tunasema our take home for that. Okay, rather I don't want to say take home because I don't think we're concluding. I'm just saying, work the two of you and find what works for you. Comfortable spot. Like have that chat as a friend. Make your own formula, because these things differ. Things differ. We're not saying that Sly umemaliza job at 10 p.m. your husband won't eat until you come home. We're saying you facilitate. if you'll
True.
be running late,
Yeah.
let mzee get something.
Yeah.
And we'll understand.
And we'll understand.
Yeah.
Because
You get-
it's not
Yes.
always
it's,
anyway.
it's not always
Yeah.
we're in this society where now even ladies work till late. But stick to your lane.
Yeah.
Don't try and come to compete on this other lane. Stick to your lane. Just make sure your roles are being done. And I'm sure by doing that, of course, God being in the centerpiece, I'm sure by doing that will reduce these frictions. Frictions will always be there because you're two adults and you're
That's the
different.
only way
And
to go.
but
Yeah,
you'll reduce
true.
the friction will smoothen until
Yeah.
sasa vitu zikue zijel.
I like telling my wife that when we have a disagreement, we learned how to just talk about our disagreements. Always
Yeah.
tell her, sometimes I get excited when we disagree because it means we are growing.
True.
It means we are real. We are not fake.
Yes.
It means we
Yeah.
have disagreed on a point,
Yeah.
and that point we have agreed and moved on beyond that point, and it means
Exactly.
we have become better to each
Yeah.
other. So I'll never do that what I did or she did before. So now I know what not to do next time. So we become better people.
Yeah.
So when we disagree, we just become better people.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I think I agree, and I like that because we are also in that place where we are portraying marriage like like it has to be in a certain way. Yet all we need to do is just what I borrow from what these three gentlemen have said is patience. Number one, like with each other, because we are not perfect,
Yeah, we
so
can't.
just working on it, the two of you knowing that okay, this guy is like this, lakini me I will pray for my man, and vice versa, and
And you let him know.
yes, yes, and communication,
And you let him know
Yes.
that I don't like this, and then
Yes.
so anakaa kijua.
yes,
Yeah,
and
yeah.
there's that bit of communication. Yeah.
So the way of how you let them know
Yeah.
is what will make the difference.
Right.
Yeah, like spendangi hizi vitu hapa.
Yeah.
Spendangi hizi vitu hapa na Sly, would you kindly
Ama umemngojea the whole night alafu unafungua mlango kama umeenda bedroom.
There's something I want to ask now that na ile uko hizo unasema kitu alafu nakumbuka. But there's something actually when you guys were discussing the issue of expectations etc. There's something I want to ask. Who sets the temperature of the home? Because what happens is
the temperature in a differ.
wait. Let me say, actually, there's something I want to address, especially when it comes to sex and also just the general mood of the house. Because what happens is, but mostly sex. You know why I want to address this is because when the woman, when men come into the home, by the way, in our church, there's this guy who said something which I carry with me. Silas, yes, his name is Silas. Ini point yako. So he once said that there's that thermometer, and he was asking, and I want to ask you guys, like, who sets that temperature in the home? Because if you come into your house as a guy, and of course, men, by the way, mnakuanga na hii ka moment, sijui kama unajua maybe naongelelea tu kwangu. Okay, babe, see, but it's like you guys you have your own pressures from work because. You guys are chasing the paper. Of course, you want to provide for your families, etc. So, there's that pressure. And you come into the home, and of course, you're not as jovial, you're not... And that's, us guys always want you in that state, jovial mood, because it makes us happy. But sometimes you will not walk into the house that way, So you'll find me, and I'll be like, okay, but if he's like that, so spare mimi, I mean, hata mi wacha tu ninyamaze, because siwezi shinda nikiinsistia mtu. And of course, you cannot insist to speak to a guy. When a guy, by the way, is not feeling like it, trust me, okay, it's hard to, okay, you can try and make him feel better, etc. But who sets that temperature in the home? Like let me finish, Eli. Like if you set that temperature of you're moody or you're feeling like you don't want to talk, but at the end of the day you still expect, like you will expect that, I mean, you'll come, then we will still make love as usual, usiku, yet you set a certain temperature. And for us it begins in the mind.
Yes.
Like it's the way we've been treated that ultimately will make us be more receptive. So I don't know if
anza kwa SMS. Anyway.
In fact, that I like the way you even brought up that conversation. Did you notice there's a part you said Sita insists? A lot of ladies, that's how they start. When you look at that girl from the door, you already know this guy has had a long day. Sita insists kuingia kwa hiyo zone yake. Already you move on. look at this other way. When a guy enters the door and the kids run to you, have you ever seen that guy say, Mzuri? Do they do that?
No.
Do the men do that to the
It
kids?
changes automatically.
No,
By
it
the
changes
way,
automatically.
yeah.
When me, I've come from a long day, and then my kids run and like, hey, dad, how are you doing? I'll be like, even if I had I'll be
It
like,
switches.
hey,
Yeah.
how are you
Pressure
doing?
just-
My day was good. How was yours?
Yeah.
And then when you go to the wife says, hi, how are you? Hi, babe, how are you? It's how it
How
for
you-
me
how you
it boils
receive.
down.
Yeah.
The home is the temperature and the atmosphere is built
Yeah.
by the woman.
Okay.
Then the lady comes in and all those things were outside there. They were not in the home. So it's for you
leave
to
them
change
there.
that atmosphere and ensure that he has come to a. There's a book that said comes to a home that is as good as a heaven. That when he enters that house from the doorstep, he knows I've had a long day, but I know when I enter that house, oh, my wife will accept me
Yeah.
and hug me.
Yeah.
Take
If
care.
possible, he's even gonna
Tell
wash
me
my
it's okay.
feet.
Yeah.
He'll be like, hey, baby, you've had a long day.
Like
The
you're
opposite
longing,
over
you're
there.
longing,
You're
to,
longing
be,
to
to
go
be in
to
that
home.
house. Yeah, yeah.
Right.
But then now a lot of men play chance. Naweza ingia kwa hiyo hata wife akose kunisalimia. You know, to change an atmosphere of a guy is like this, but for women it takes a longer haul.
Yeah.
But for a guy it only takes a few
It's a helicopter.
kidogo
Yeah,
tu.
yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
Touch him like this, do this, and the guy will be like, hey,
Yeah.
what's
Yeah.
the plan?
Yeah.
Exactly.
Let me give you a scenario. What if this guy is walked in and he's like you said, he had so much pressure at work.
Yeah.
He's from having a meeting, like it was a meeting that was under so much pressure, you're so pressured, you're so stressed, and you're walking home. And then you get to that door and you find your wife waiting for you. Babe, hi, how are you? Oh, you look so under pressure. It's going to be okay. You'll be fine.
Comforting.
Yeah, you comfort him. And then you walk in there and he's like, but I prepared your favorite meal. Prepares a nice meal and brings it there and like, don't worry, it's going to be all right. And then decides, okay, let's pray about it. You know, that changes the guy's perspective instantly.
Yeah.
Automatically, you'll never be in that same zone that you were in.
Yeah.
Like the
Yeah.
example you said, kids will always jump on you with so much
Yeah,
excitement.
exactly. Yeah.
Yeah.
You
They
forget
don't read
everything.
expression.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They don't read expression, they just expect you to
Embrace them.
embrace them and relate back what they are giving you, you know? And basically that is what happens even for us men.
Yeah.
The temperature has no setting. Nobody is setting per se the temperature, but the temperature is set by both of you. Your wife might receive you with such love and comfort, and then you just walking in but with that pressure.
Maybe that's-
Yeah.
normal.
Like most guys
Like
do.
you're not
by the way.
receptive to it.
And that's what I wanted to say.
Yeah.
Let me cut you short there. And I wanted to say that as well. I love how Elias put it, because that's honestly, in fact, you've said it, and I've reflected in my how
Yeah.
when I walk in and she's called Shiro. That one, yani,
Yeah.
atakupona mawa kwa kichwa.
Excitement.
Excitement
Yeah.
and all that. You forget about, your hustle and
Instant,
bustle
yeah.
on that same instant. But yet again, at times even men we fail.
We fail.
In this way, yani, okay, I'm assuming now the lady has really accepted you well. But you're still persistent, you're thinking.
What's that?
Giving a mood.
Yeah, you're
Giving
still giving a mood.
Umekelea tu.
Na ile shida inakuanga madem ni flight. Najua mtashika hii ni parable. Madem ni flight.
Akitoka ametoka.
Sasa, but anyway, my point is, it's a two-way. The temperatures.
Yeah.
It's a two-way.
Yeah.
Now, if the ladies, rather, if our better halves play their role and you play your role, it's automatic. Of course, not every day is that day, but when both of us are playing their roles, and in these
Yes.
cases, no address ladies, ndo wachezangi role sana, lakini wakicheza hii role sana, I think things are good.
Yeah.
I asked, there's a day I was talking to my friend and I asked her, do you love doing, she was whining saying, get check from work, I go home, and this guy doesn't understand the way I do these things, and and I feel like he doesn't appreciate me doing these things. Then I sat back and I asked, do you do these things in love? Do you do these things because you expect something from him in return? Do you open the door for this guy because you expect him to embrace and acknowledge you've opened the door? As you said, are you cooking this meal so that this guy can say, oh, that food was so nice? That if that nice doesn't come that day, then you're not gonna do
Yeah.
you're not gonna do this same thing again and again. And I told her that's how a lot of people fail, because we do a lot of these things with the high other expectations behind, not in love. And that's why love really takes a really big chunk of that whole situation. That when I'm opening this guy's door and I've met him, I like the way George said, and how many women would embrace their husbands in considering that all men are good, that we're not factoring the abusive guys, abusive marriages, we must acknowledge that they're there. How many women take time to just tell their husbands that, you know what, I just want to pray for you this time. I just want to hold your hands and just pray for you. And, dear God, my husband has had a long day and he has high expectations as a man, blah, 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 blah. And I want you to bless him. And then invite the Holy Spirit and then now do the extra things and all those things. How many women take time to do that to their husbands when they come home or when you're at your workplace? When do you send the Holy Spirit? When do you pray for? Do you pray for your husband when she's at work, when he's at work or doing the hustle that he's doing, and be like, you know what? Take a minute during the day and say, you know what? God, I want you to bless my husband. I know he's out there doing all those things, and he's trying to do it for us, and I want you to bless him at this moment. And send this guy a text and say, you know what, babe? I've just said a silent prayer for you. Have a lovely day. How many women do that? Or rather, how many men also do that?
Do you know the impact that it would give a man when
you do that?
Like you'd go next level
And
now.
as-
The husband.
You'd feel respected, you'd feel appreciated, you'd feel so many other
Everything
things.
would fall into. This guy, even if he's had such a long day, he'll come and tell you, babe, I know you prayed for me, but guy, devil alikuja. He's not gonna say that devil alikuja mazee akaattack. Imekuwa long day. And when he comes home, this atmosphere is so conducive that he longs to stay in that home. Or is he gonna think that, I don't need to be in that home, let me go call Mark, we catch a drink and catch up and say and wail and tell him the way my day was messed up. Then I just need to go home and just sleep because I don't have anyone to embrace me, and mitigate outside there. Do we make our homes the atmosphere that this man would prefer coming home first than go to these other guys?
I really actually like the example of you've used for the children. I've pictured it, to be honest, because it happens a lot when your kid comes, I mean,
With the
I've never,
hugs and everything,
Your
I've
pressures
actually,
just go automatically.
yes,
It does
I've
not
never,
matter where you are.
I've never seen Davis turning down, like our son
of
ati
course.
askuongelesha
Yeah,
unabo,
yeah.
you know,
Toka
like
hapa,
the mood just always changes,
Exactly.
and I think that's a perfect example, actually. And the other thing I borrow is also the fact that we both need to set the temperature.
Yes.
You know,
Yeah.
in terms, and I said, marriage is like a tree, probably something I have learned over time.
Yeah.
It's like the way you can have a tree growing, and then today I may not be in that
best.
at my best
Best,
to go
yes.
and water that tree.
Yes.
So it takes my husband, today he'll be, even probably for the whole week, he'll be like,
Even
I'm
for a
gonna,
whole month.
even a month, even 2 months,
You'll be done watering
I'm
that.
watering that tree.
Yes.
And there's a time when he won't even have that strength, but if I know that, by the way he's down, and by the way that tree, I can't let that tree die, I'm gonna water it, then it helps a lot when we are both watering the tree.
Yes.
And it's the only way it grows.
Yes.
But otherwise, because you will get tired when you do it alone. It's
Exactly.
like you're working on it alone. So I really like that example.
One person sets the
Yes.
temperature, the other person maintains.
Yes.
And it doesn't really matter
Who
who it
sets.
is.
It's no one's
Yeah.
like
Yeah.
duty.
So you
Yeah.
set, I maintain.
Yeah.
I
You
set,
set,
you maintain.
maintain.
Yes.
So
Yes.
you just
Yeah.
work together.
Wow, I like that. Now I think we are gonna wind up because I hope
Yeah.
you guys can come back again.
We will just let us know.
Yes. You should come because I have so much. I have a lot of questions, but
Coming up.
yes. Coming up. coming up, yes. But there's something, I want you guys to leave here. At least I want to hear from each of you because you've been married. George, how long have you been married?
6 years now.
6 years. Mark?
7 years actually.
years.
The day before yesterday. 14th.
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 Oh,
We turned seven.
congratulations.
Yeah, we turned seven.
Yeah.
5 years.
5 years, yes. So I just want you guys to probably say, like what has been your biggest take home? Like in marriage, what is that one thing? We always have that one thing where you'll be like, hey, that's what I've learned. Like, what has worked for you? Because marriages are different. But what has worked for you? In a brief way, what has worked for you? Even as we wind up,
let me start. First, let me just say this: marriage is a beautiful thing.
Yes.
You hardly get people saying that because of what they are going through. But marriage, essentially, is a beautiful thing, and I enjoy. I love being with my wife. I love being with my kids. It's beautiful. My take home in the 6 years that I've been married. Choose your battles. You don't always have to be dealing with every small issue that is coming up. Every small issue that is coming up, you're always just having a conflict, an argument, a disagreement. I think at times it's okay to just turn a blind eye to some of the things that our partners are doing, and it makes our relationships better. Let's deal with the things that define us. Let's not deal with the small matters. Oh, you didn't open the door for me. You didn't do this for me. You didn't say do this. You didn't touch this. You didn't do this. You know, let's focus on the things that build us as a family. Also, I've learned you never leave your partner in the midst of a fire. Yeah. I mean, when there is a fire, when you guys are in that time of, this thing is not working, yeah, it's a time you need each other most. Yeah. If you're the one who feels offended, yeah, put that aside, take that battle and just go deal with it. If I feel like my wife is one who's supposed to be coming to me and apologizing and saying I'm sorry, at times it's okay. I lay down my ego and my pride, yeah, and I approach her and we resolve this thing. Yeah, sometimes that is what will get you guys moving. And I've discovered at times my wife will do something and you tell her she's done and she'll be like, but me, I didn't. You're expecting her to say sorry and all that, and you're like, okay.
Let it slide.
Yeah, let it slide. Let's move on with life. I mean, it won't change anything. And by then you realize once you've moved on with it, that thing never even pops up. Yeah. And then that is my take home.
Okay. Ma?
Right. I'll try to be short as precise. Number one, make sure your partner is your friend. That has worked for me big time, because it will kill so many battles, just to use that word, that you won't understand. Because, I mean, just put her there, you're addressing your friend, and vice versa. That will work magic. Number two, which actually should have been number one, is God has to be there.
Yes.
No matter what.
Absolutely.
That
is it.
That's key.
That's
key, right? And there's someone who once told me this: all marriages have friction. A friend from where I go to church once told me this, and probably if my wife will watch this, she'll relate to it. He told me, when you're having this thing you have to settle, number one, pray before you, like, I imagine it. Umekosana na Davis anakwambia, what, babes, I have the best interest for us. Let's first
pray and then we deal with
what that will do to you. It's like it calms you down. It's like you have now the presence of God there. So you won't just bluff. You'll be giving me points, and I'll be doing the same to you. That thing has worked, and my wife will. Number three, I do have a third point.
It's there. It just disappears.
As you've noticed, men's points are normally few, one or two. Conclusions.
Okay, sorry. Just to cut you short. Whenever you have an issue, is try to separate the issue from the person. I don't know if I'm making sense. If there's an issue that
issue, not the person.
If you deal with this issue, don't brand this issue to be
the person.
Just deal with the issue. Another thing is try and have as much as happy times together as possible. Have friends. Be happy. Have friends that
it's never that serious.
You can always go to just as friends without the children, probably once in a while, or even if it's with the children, just have this couple of friends mutual friends that you can hang out with. I think it also builds the marriage and become a better institution.
Eli.
For me, what has worked for us? First of all, fun. We've
Yeah.
tried to make marriage as fun as possible. We play, we joke around so much. That has worked for us. That the time we're fighting, we miss the moments that we're like, wow, this guy, I mean, what are we doing else now? There's tension even because there's always laughter in the house. So that has really worked for us. Secondly, what has worked for me is that I used to always put my mind into the situation and be like, it used to bother me so much and wear me down when we've had an argument or rather a disagreement. I always go down on my knees and I ask God for peace. And I just say, God, just give me peace. That's all I want. In whichever way it will come, just give me peace. And I realized that has worked
Magic.
so much for me. And above all, no one has concluded that sex is a big deal. Yeah,
It's important.
it's important, but as you've seen, it's been nor here nor there. A lot of people think it's about sex and about sex.
Yeah, all men are
No, it's
physical
about
and
that.
all
Yeah, men are too physical and all that.
Yeah.
But we don't say, ladies, what also has worked for me, I always love when my wife looks pretty and sexy and attractive to me. It works for me. So I always try to see that she's looking like that. Always see what works for you.
Yeah.
That's my conclusion.
True.
Yeah.
All right. Thank you so much, guys.
We
I
hope
really
we've
appreciate.
done
Yes.
justice.
First, yes. I was also learning, by the way.
Yeah.
You know, from this gentleman. I've learned quite a bit, and I feel as though we cannot really exhaust this. So when I look at marriage, you know, the reason why I actually began this channel is because, you know, there's that misconception about marriage. You know, like you know, it's not working anymore. No one we are young and we want to just give up. Literally, we want to give up. So what I've learned is, you know, there's the need for that patience and to keep working and to know that hakuna mali tunaenda.
Yeah,
We are here to work on
Yeah.
on this marriage. And yes, there are you know, marriages are working out there. You know, they're not like all failing, but it's not because it's easy.
Yeah.
You know, it needs that, you know, for us to put in a lot of work.
Yeah.
I don't know if these guys told you guys what, you know, what they do, but these are the people to go to for all your printing. Please, mtu aseme kwa sababu mimi nita exaggerate. By the way, I'll exaggerate because I know I've given you guys business, so of course I'll exaggerate. But maybe one of you can just say what you guys do, what business you're in, just to wind up, and then I'll just close.
Yeah. We are in the printing industry,
Print and
brand industry. So any print needs, any promotional items you need, branded items you need,
Any
we are there.
gifts.
And gifts we are there to go to people. On the side, there is also another business that we do.
Oh,
Yeah,
okay.
Yeah. Like I personally run a maternity business where I just sell maternity wear for women.
Oh, really?
Yeah, just
Oh, I didn't
maternity
know
and
that. That's
maternity
nice.
only, purely maternity clothes only. And I think it's the right forum to mention that. Yeah, so that is part of
Yes.
the other things that we do.
Yeah. Thank
Yeah.
you. Thank you.
So our contacts
Thank you,
are running
guys.
down here.
Oh, yes.
The numbers will be running down here. You can see.
Yeah, and if you're watching, subscribe is here. I always wanted to do that.
And there's this bell. Just click on it once.
Hit the button.
Let's get out it.
But I wanted to also commend you so much. Yeah.
Yeah.
Marriages are under attack in Kenya and all over the world. Young guys are going through challenges in their marriages, and I say young guys because other guys, our folks, they made it through. But a lot of young guys are going through challenges. Everyone who's watching this, take time to to enjoy your marriage.
Yeah.
Take time. We really commend you, and we want to support you, and everyone should support this program.
Yeah.
And
soon to be a channel.
soon to be a channel. I mean, we are looking forward. I'm really excited to see a lot of marriages make up
Yeah.
and become something after watching this kind of show.
Yeah.
Thank you. God bless you.
Yeah. Yeah.
Thank you, Eli. Asanteni sana. So as I said, Dave Cinematography. By the way, Dave will teach me how to do this. But yes, this is courtesy of, his studio, and they are in Westlands. So
Beautiful studio.
Yes, a beautiful studio, as you
Yes.
can see. Yes, so even for your family portraits, anything, give him a shout. I will ensure that I put this guy's contact and also Dave's contact hapo chini. Yeah, where wamesema yes hapo kwa description, na pia subscribe. So subscribe to Focus on Marriage and Family if you haven't, and thank you so much for watching. Thank you guys.